Hello and welcome to I Am Geek, and this is episode 291. I'm your host Ryan, joined by my brother Chris and our good pal Katrin.
Heyo,
back here again, and tonight we have some special guests. They were supposed to be on a few weeks ago, and then I had to get sick and go through that. But I've come out on top of it. I'm alive. I can talk now. So we've invited them back. We had a little technical difficulty tonight. But it's okay. We all
got
here
that out
now.
of the way.
It's out of the way.
Yeah,
we're good.
It's gonna be perfect now.
It's okay. We have. This is very, very cool. As everybody that listens knows and watches, I'm a huge Star Wars fan, and I'm a huge Starcruiser, Galactic Starcruiser fan. And tonight we have part of the team from Halcyon Daze, the final voyage of Disney's Star Wars Galactic Starcruiser. It's a documentary. We have some of the team on tonight. We have Carrie and Jonathan. Welcome to I Am Geek.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So excited to have you here because I talked Starcruiser with these guys, and they're like, Ryan, we don't know what you're talking about. We didn't.
I mean, that's anything you're really talking about.
Yeah,
Right.
we like.
Anytime he starts talking, we're just like, oh,
Yeah,
whatever.
Sorry, what's happening?
So I'm glad to have some Starcruiser friends on tonight, where we can just really geek out about it, talk about Disney, talk about Star Wars, and this amazing thing that they created. So first off, why don't we get sort of your guys' background, how you got into Star Wars, Disney, what do you, as I like to say, do in the real world away from all the fun stuff, and then we'll go from there, and we'll get into really fun stuff.
I am a high school English teacher. My background is in rhetoric and composition. I have a PhD in that and was a professor for a while. So now that's what I do during the day, but I have a lot of experience with creative writing. So the way that connects with doing the Starcruiser documentary is that through the years, I really learned about myself through writing, mostly.
Cool.
Trying to figure things out and reflect. From Louisville, Kentucky, Star Wars history, saw it when I was 10, A New Hope in the theaters when it came out, and grew up with it. And yeah, it was just kind of a magical, powerful moment in my cultural youth history.
Cool.
Similarly, I was like old enough to be an original, saw it in the theater, first movie, although I was very, very young. I think I barely remember it. But then Empire Strikes Back, very clear memory of being in the theater for that one, and subsequent. So I was, like a classic Star Wars fan growing up, and stayed. I'd never been like a massive super fan in terms of like I'm going to read all the novels and all that, but I was definitely a big fan. And I was a long time bookstore worker until actually fairly recently, and now I'm a high school librarian and at the same high school, so we share a job now, a job site.
Nice.
And yeah, you can tell why we ended up on the Starcruiser, I guess.
Oh yeah, I mean, I want to let you. It is your podcast.
No.
To ask you. You can just ask us.
How did you end up on the Starcruiser?
Thank you. With his father, who passed away a few years before they were able to do that together, and I'm like, I don't care, for his 50th birthday, I'm booking this thing, and he's going, and we'll figure out how to pay for it. And I don't even remember exactly how I heard about it, but I was on the phone in that March and was like, yeah, sure, I'll put a deposit down on my credit card. So much money, whatever. So then his mom covered the rest of it for us. I think kind of in honor of his late father and us going to do it. And we went on in September. So we booked in March, went on in September. I got fully spoiled because I wanted to guide him on his 50th to have a really great trip, and got obsessed with it. Like, you know how the Facebook groups are, Ryan. Sorry, Chris. Yeah. You don't get out, you don't do anything. I understand.
No, don't do a thing.
So, So we went on, we had an amazing trip, and I couldn't stop thinking about it and got involved. And that's where my obsession started, which is why in part I wanted to make the doc, because how did I, who's not a super fan of Star Wars, get obsessed with this thing that cost a ton of money and that I had no idea I'd get so obsessed with?
Did you
Yeah,
guys have characters when you went the first time, or did you just enjoy it for what it was at the time? Like, did you come up with characters before you went?
We did, yeah. I think Carrie researched enough to know that we should.
Yeah.
And that's the thing. I think anybody who went and if you didn't do that, you're kind of like, why are you doing it? If you're not, I don't know.
Yeah.
It made sense. She kind of thought we should be making have characters and get pretty interactive. That was what this thing was going to be about, being interactive.
Did you, Ryan? Did you have a character?
Yeah, that was the cool thing about the May 3rd voyage, because it was like all the top Star Wars like fans, and I think just about everybody was like in character. And so it was cool. I was like, I did like at that time was when Jedi Survivor was coming out, the video game with Cal Kestis, the second one. And I saw his outfit. I'm like, that's a really cool outfit. I wonder if I can make that. So I'm like, but I don't look anything like him, so I can't be like, you know. And so I was kidding around with Heroes of the Halcyon, and I said, I'm just old man Kestis. Like, you know, if he was, you know, an old man, this is what he would be. But then I was like, you know, I made the vest and I sort of looked like him, and I had droids that I made that like rode on my shoulder, and I went because I make kyber crystals that work in the Disney lightsabers, I went as a kyber crystal smuggler. And I decided to use my real name because I was like, I want people to like to say my real name, because then I'll feel like that I'm in Star Wars. Because a lot of people are like, you can create your own like made up name, or you could be your real name. I'm like, man, wouldn't it be cool if I'm walking around and I see Rey and she like calls me by my real name, versus it makes me feel like I'm part of the canon, like I'm part of Star Wars. So I just went as my real name, but I was a kyber crystal smuggler, smuggling kyber crystals. And so I took a bunch of kyber crystals that I made and handed them out to like the cast and the staff and people on board, and told them my story about that I was smuggling these, and they looked like a trustworthy person to take one. And so I had a blast. But yeah, I think you're talking about money earlier, and everybody that I've talked to that's been on, nobody has ever said, I wish I didn't spend that money. You know, nobody.
Yeah, I haven't heard that either.
No, and I had no business. Like, I mean, I guess I had business, but like, it's not like I have just like $20,000 over here to go 4 times. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like,
But
So,
yeah, this is an amazing experience. The only reason I got to go, like, I remember when they first announced it, I'm like, I'm going to this thing, and then they announced the price, and I was like, maybe one day I'll go to this thing. But then I found a group that was the Sweet Mate Finder. So I went with a bunch of strangers, never met before, and shared a room, and it felt like summer camp, because this is all these people.
He's just missing a kidney. That's all it took.
Yeah.
Never.
But it was cool because I didn't know any of the people. We got to know, we still talk. Like, we have like a Facebook messenger group that we talk to each other all the time. And it's just, it sort of was like adult summer camp in space. Yeah.
She calls it that a lot. You've called it like space camp a couple times.
Yeah, because I kept trying to figure out, like, why did I really feel like this is my home when I went on the second time? You know, I was like, it's like coming back to summer camp. I was a camp counselor. Did you do summer camp?
I was a student pastor for many years, so I did lots of camps, lots of summer camps. Yeah, so I think that's one reason why I liked, and we'll get back to all your stuff because your stuff is way cooler than hearing me talk. I think that's one reason I liked the Starcruiser so much, is because when I used to work with students, I would make these big immersive events. Before anybody made immersive events, I was like, I want to make something big. And so I would make like these big like events where it was like escape room, but there was actors, and I would bring in people. We did when Doctor Who was really big. We did a Weeping Angel thing where the kids had to go through these different rooms and they would be chased by weeping angels, and we had actors playing all these. So when I got on board, I was like, this was my dream, like to the grandest scale, where you're just totally immersed in an environment. And once you enter there, until you leave, it's like you're in a whole different world. And it was one of the, I mean, I tell people all the time, I was like, because I have kids and I have a family, I'm like, I don't want to say it's the greatest thing I've ever done, but for me alone, it's one of the greatest things I've ever done.
Sure.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so let me share something with you. Will you grab that book right behind you, Jonathan? I'm going to share. I've got a prop. So when I got off the first time, yep, that one. Thank you. Do y'all know me? Do you know Maria Bamford by any chance? Y'all know the comic Maria Bamford? Well, anyway,
Name sounds
Name
familiar.
sounds familiar.
she wrote this book. Sure, I'll join your cult.
I think that's
To make a joke. That's all I'm saying. So I get off the Starcruiser and I cannot stop talking to my mother and anyone who'll listen, my brother, my friends. I'm like, are you going to go on the Starcruiser with me? Let's go. Come on. It's not going to be that much. We can split it up. I got the discount. I got the Visa card. Let's go. Blah, blah, blah. My mom's like, you may not be of any religion. I brought you up Presbyterian and you've left the flock, but like you've joined a cult. So this stay on deathbed in my Halcyon room, because that's what it's like. It's like an amazing, really positive, super cool.
Well,
cult.
like everybody has an altar like this.
Yeah.
Like all the Starcruiser fans have like
oh,
an altar.
yeah.
You know?
I've got a
Like
huge
there-
shelf over here that's just all Starcruiser
No,
stuff.
that's all the like all the postcards and jewelry and everything that you get. I'm sure you got a lot of it on the May the 4th.
Oh yeah. I still
Yeah.
get stuff for people. People send me stuff. And I'm like somebody sent me Saja beads, like the whole
Yeah.
beads and everything.
So-
It's so cool. But yeah, to me it was like I was a kid again. And this is gonna sound like I'm not gonna get emotional. It's like I was a kid again and I finally found friends that liked the same things that I liked.
Yeah. And you know what? Thank you for sharing that. And just let it go. Okay.
Yeah.
Just
Have a cry session.
we can all, because every interview that I've done just about for the doc, there's been a moment like that where somebody
Yeah.
said, I felt like I found the community I was looking for. I felt like I could be a kid again. I reunited with my daughter who I was estranged from through this experience, and I would pay any amount for that. Like,
Yeah,
oh,
that's
this
cool.
comes over, and people just weeping.
Hmm.
So, Chris and I don't know Chris and Katron, I don't know how you feel about weeping over.
Yeah. You missed it. You missed out on all the
You missed out.
weeping and the fun, and you missed out all the friends you could have made. It's the journey.
sure.
You know?
I've already cried today after seeing the X-Men 97 trailer. So
Yeah.
That today.
yeah. So I had a big cry earlier today after seeing that. So.
I cried, but it was cool to see.
It was very cool to see.
Mhm.
I thought this is going off. I thought they made a strong choice with the way Magneto looked.
Yeah.
It's like some romantic novel cover with this long flowing white hair.
It's
all
the
buff,
90s.
I guess.
That's right.
All right.
Is it split down the middle? Is it like a shirt, like a ruffle shirt or something?
Yeah, he had something like it was just like, I just want you to know that it's all mine now. This is like fling his hair back and stuff.
Did he
Yeah.
say, I can't believe it's not butter? You remember the Fabio commercial?
Yep.
Yeah.
All right.
I don't know. When he said to me, my X-Man, I just bawled.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Just bawled.
Whatever, it was very cool to see. Let's get back to the documentary. I'm going to steer us back on course. So you went, you said 4 times?
I did.
That's awesome. So when in those 4 times did you decide a documentary needs to be made?
By the time I had gone off I had the second cruise and was about to get on the third and couldn't. So we're visiting friends in the U.S. Virgin Islands, St. Croix. Okay. Beautiful. We're in the Caribbean. We're in calm turquoise water. And I turned to my husband and I'm like, but you know that character idea I had for the Starcruiser that we're about to go on again? I'm like, so do you think I should like maybe do X, Y, and Z? And he's like, well, yeah, you know what I was thinking about? And I'm like, we're in the Caribbean on St. Croix and we're talking about Starcruiser. There's something going on here. There's an issue. Like, so I put a call out mid-July before we boarded in August with my brother and his son, because I convinced him to do it with us. And we had the discount by that. It was before the closure. So we had the discount. We could split it up and we could manage that. And I was like, I think I need to make a documentary about this to figure out what the heck is going on with my full-blown obsession with this thing. Yeah. So that's how that happened. I wanted to figure it out. I thought a doc would be the best way to do it.
So
you go ahead, Katrina.
Yeah, I was gonna say, did you have experience making documentaries before then? Is that no? Okay, you just thought it'd be a great idea. You knew some people that had done before? Or? No. Okay.
Okay, so
well, I mean, I think we did know one person, and so our acquaintance Ben, who is not here. And Daughtry is he's had a ton of experience doing a lot of doc TV, and then some documentary features. He's been like a producer, director, editor. He's done kind of it all. So he's done a lot of stuff. He was in LA. He's from Louisville, same town as us. He had lived in LA for a long time, but had moved back fairly in the recent memory. So we called him, Carrie called him and was like, Ben, let us like tell you about this idea and talk us out of it. She's like, talk me out of it. And he did the opposite. He was like, oh, that's a great idea. Like, you should totally do this. I'll get on board. And
nice.
Yeah. So you can pick it up from there. Maybe.
Yeah.
He wanted to get on board.
But before this, to be honest with you, I just thought, I'll see if some other people out there want to do it and we'll figure it out. Because that's generally how I go through life, is like, I want to do this thing. I'll figure it out. I wasn't really thinking about Ben at that point. I was just like, I'll just get on iMovie, do some interviews, shoot me on board the Starcruiser. It'll be great. It'll be awesome. I had no clue what I was doing, but I've learned so much. And I'm when I get onto something, my husband can attest to this. I'm a little bit of a force of nature. I just
a little.
Most
likely,
you gotta be.
Whatever it will happen. Like whatever you decided to do will get done. Yeah. In some way, shape, or form.
So now we've got this great team together, and I can talk more about them, but it's been crazy. Like the momentum and the help and the talent on the team, who are all volunteers. I'm putting things on a credit card and just trying to slowly build. It's incredible.
So you decided to make the documentary before they announced the closing?
No, it was.
Oh no.
No, it was about a month after.
Okay.
Yeah, and one of the women who responded from the Facebook community, Carly Kosrick, our lead researcher, who's a faculty member at the Illinois Institute of Technology. She's a media studies professor and a dean there. She's into game design and everything. She's amazing. She had wanted to do one, and then I put a call out. People responded, and she was the one that stuck with me. And then we started working on it, and then things kind of grew from there.
Cool. Yeah, I mean, it's excellent because basically, I don't know if anybody else is doing anything like this, but this is going to be a time capsule, pretty much.
Yeah.
For the Starcruiser that's no longer with us. It's weird to say it like that, but yeah, it's no longer with us. It's moved on.
Form, right?
Yes, it's dry docked. So it's going to be a time capsule because you've interviewed a lot of people, correct?
I have. I've interviewed over 24, including Heroes of the Halcyon, including Aaron Stephen, but including some really amazing members of the community like Lisa Moses and the Spam fam. I don't know if you know those guys. They were on our cruise. There's just like, if you go to our YouTube channel, you can see all the clips that we've done, and lots more planned, including a bunch of
some clips. Not all the clips.
Excuse me. I'm sorry.
You can see a few clips.
Some of them, yeah.
Many.
No, you can see 100 clips. We've done a lot of interviews, and we do have several more scheduled. John's been doing the social media. But we also filmed me on the 4th voyage, going all the way through the experience. So
cool.
for the doc, I'm kind of the avatar for the frame. But it's not about me. It's really about how we all got obsessed and became part of the community, and what a cool, meaningful, fun, joyous, beautiful, awesome, nerdy, just one of a kind. It sounds so cliche, but it really is experience. It is.
Yeah. So for that, for your journey, did you stick with a certain storyline, or did you bounce to different ones to show the different aspects?
You want to know about my storyline? Oh, you mean like, did I stick to a path?
Yeah, stick to a path. Sorry. Yeah.
Yeah. So I just always got roped in with Wraith, and I had been talking with Jason Keller, and he knew I was coming on. So, and anyway, so I was on the smuggler path, but I also managed to get us into the Holocron finale to film it. So I was on the scoundrel smuggler heist path.
That's the fun one, right?
It is. Yeah.
I just knew right away, scoundrel, when I saw it. Tell.
I somehow bounced around a bunch. I think it was because I was like, this may be the only time I do it. And people kept, like, some of the, like, Heroes of the Halcyon would grab me and be like, come, just come with me. You're going to want to see this. Or, like, when the moment you have to choose which path to finalize, I was like, I don't know what to do. And Steven, from Princess of Scoundrel, I was like, Steven, which one should I do? And he just took my phone away from me and he goes, there, I've picked for you. And I was like, oh, all right, we'll see what happens then. And I ended up in the holocron. So I was like, oh, thanks, Steven. He's like, I thought you might like that. But yeah, I don't want to tell all my stories because I'm sure nobody wants to hear them. I had a really funny story with Wraith, since you like Wraith, that if you want to hear it.
I do. And so you'll just have to share this with me so I can use it for my doc, where I just get to interview you and you can tell me for the documentary.
I would love to be interviewed. I'll tell you.
Okay.
You may this story is the reason I tell this story is because it shows how they cater to the individual. That it wasn't a script that they read the whole time, but it was improvised based on who they were talking to. Because I'm pretty sure, because I've talked to a lot of people, and I may be wrong, I'm pretty sure I'm the only one that got this from Wraith. It's PG-13, we'll say. I think you guys know the story, right?
Yes.
Say it's PG-13. I was hanging out with Wraith. It was just me and him. And this lady walked up to us, to Wraith, and said, hey, would you like some spice? And he said, I mean, of course I'd like some spice. He goes, how'd you get it on here? You know, she's like, oh, I've got my ways. So she handed it and then she walked off. And he picked it up and he smelled it. And then he looked at me and he said, I think I need to go wash my hands because I think I know where she smuggled this.
Wow. Okay.
And I was like, okay, there's no way that he goes around saying that to other people, like to the kids and stuff, you know? I was like, wow, I mean, it's funny, but I was like, it was sort of an experience just for me. And that's how it was the whole time. Like they would just have experience. It wasn't like, hey, 20 people, 50 people gather around so I can go through my script. It was like
up somebody's butt, right?
Yeah, pretty much. It's like I'm pretty sure this came out of her butt. It was hilarious. Like I was like cackling, and he was laughing and stuff. So it was just cool that there's so many little experiences that was had on it, and you know I could tell all kinds of stories about meeting cast members off the ship and just walking up to them and like saying a line, and then they immediately just like
Hmm.
you're one of us, and just like talk to me. Like I ran into one of the Croys, or my Croy from my ship, but he was working on Batu as the First Order guy there.
Lieutenant
forget-
Axman, maybe.
Yeah, I think so. And I just walked up to him and said, "Hey, just wanted to. You look like a person that I once met on a Starcruiser." And he said, "Yes, he is long gone now, but he always holds a special place in my heart." And we just sat there and talked about the Starcruiser for a minute. And so it was cool. It's just cool that I'm so looking forward to this documentary, just seeing it come to life and seeing all the love that's poured into it. Where are you guys on the timeline for it right now? How's the timeline going for you?
Me?
Yes, you.
I'm like the
I'm the director.
I'm the helper. I'm barely doing it. She's like the director of this thing. Where are we on the timeline?
Okay, I'll try.
You.
I'll try. So right now, the 4-minute teaser trailer, which is kind of like a sizzle reel, which I didn't know what that was until this thing. It's being finalized. So we have a film score expert from the community, John Beachy. He is scoring it. He's, again, doing it for free. Our editor is doing the coloring. So we expect the teaser trailer to be done within the week. So we hope to share that with the community before I go on the cruise, so we can have people go see it, visit that, check it out. Then we'll be wrapping up interviews probably by the end of April, mid-May. So we'll go into post-production over the summer.
Cool.
So goal for me that the team also, I think, shares and understands is that we have at least 20 minutes of something to show at HouseCon that's either rough or because it's going to be 45-minute slot. Heroes are on board. They really want us to do it. I don't think we'll have time for any more than that. So that's a realistic goal.
Yeah.
Is 20 minutes, maybe the first 20 minutes of it, or a good 20-minute segment. Show
Cool.
a little intro, show it, Q&A, maybe have everybody say together as one, get that on film, that kind of thing. So I want to get this done quickly. Like, I don't want to be fiddling about with this. I want to move along.
Yeah, I do have to commend you for doing this. I've worked on several film projects and stuff, and it's hard. There's a lot.
Thank you.
A lot to do. There's more than you can imagine. Like, there's so many people that do so many different jobs on a movie, and you guys are doing it just like a ragtag group, small group,
just like Star Wars.
Just like Star Wars.
Very
It's like, people originally, before I tried to do a small kind of crummy fundraiser in the beginning just to pay for
You made a symbol because you're on your Mac, so it does, like, if you do this, it'll do balloons or something, right?
Yeah.
Something.
What?
I don't remember what it does. It didn't do it.
comes down on your face.
Yeah.
That was funny.
So Chris, you understand, like, people were like, why do you only need to raise funds? And I'm like, you have no clue what it takes.
Oh, yeah, it's crazy.
People are working for free. Two of them are in the industry and side gigging. Like, we luckily have salaries, and as does Carly and other people. But like, side gigging, drives, cameras, storage, travel, promotion, festivals, all the stuff I had no clue about.
Oh, it's expensive. Yeah.
Yeah, so we're seeking some more like robust funding sources and maybe some studios. But hey, Chris, if you want to get together and talk about it after, just reach out. Well, no, it's serious. Like, if you want to get involved in some way, or if you have some anything you might be able to offer,
Knowledge, yes.
You need has been amazing, like really helpful, amazing. But I'm glad you understand, because people are like, you're just filming stuff and putting it together, and I'm like, yeah, that's it.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's all it is to it. It's nothing.
That is funny, because I think especially our generation, before YouTube, when you would say you're making a movie, people are like, oh,
Yeah.
you're making a movie. Oh,
Right.
that takes a lot of work. But now with YouTube, people are like, oh yeah, my My nephew does that. You know, he
Well,
makes movies
even
all the time on
Apple-
YouTube.
When Apple talks about their phones, right? They're like, you can make a movie with your phone. You know, you don't. That's all you need.
But people don't
That's what's
understand
filmed with
that
the phone.
to make a like something like
Yeah.
this, there's a lot of work. It's not just holding up your phone and be like, do something funny. You know, it's like a lot of work, and I just commend you on what you're
Thank
doing because
Mhm.
it's amazing. And I think that
Mhm.
I need to talk to the Heroes of the Halcyon guys and say, listen, if you're showing this, you need to have tissues, just boxes of tissues everywhere, because there's not going to be a dry eye in the house. People are going to be looking.
teaser trailer. I'm gonna hit you right upside the head with it. But Katrin, what you're saying about the iPhone, that's who I was before I started this. I was like, I'll just make it on the iPhone, no problem. But we're doing like a real like our executive producers, and like he knows what he's doing. And you're right, we're gonna need some tissues, but like we want to do this legit where it looks good,
Yeah.
it sounds good, it's
Um,
all this great footage to choose from.
Well, and bringing it back to what you mentioned earlier, Ryan, I think that you want a time capsule of this thing. There's a million hours of iPhone footage of the thing. People have people put tons of their iPhone videos on, so that's great that existed. But Carrie and once Ben got on board, the person with some experience who was thinking of this as a real documentary. It was like, can we get a professional type filming on there on the cruise to capture it?
Yeah.
Well. And we did. Luckily they, gave permission as long as the equipment was unobtrusive enough not to get in other passengers' way. But it was professional equipment, so like it got captured, nicely on film, and hopefully that'll, it'll be like people can see what it was like. So
yeah. And I think go ahead.
Sorry, did that become part of the story too? Like when you were on the Halcyon, did you weave that in somehow? Of like, we're this filming crew coming on the Halcyon, or does
story? Yeah,
okay.
like we were there to film the 275th anniversary of the
cool.
Okay, yeah.
Voyage. We were a film crew there for that purpose.
Awesome.
With other things that
a holovid crew.
Yes, holovid crew.
That's awesome. Yeah.
And
Very cool.
I feel like I need to share this with you, Ryan. And I don't know how much Star Wars fans, Chris, you and Katrin are, but I really feel like you'll appreciate this. My final character for that voyage was I was an Wookiee whose mom had been on Endor for an environmental trip with some biology scientists, some ecology scientists who they were collecting. She was just an assistant, but she had a moment with an Ewok that she was attracted to.
PG-13.
PG-13.
They're adorable.
She left Endor because Endor's not really human.
Yeah.
Well, not so. She goes back to her home planet of Kantuk, and she meets a Wookiee with whom she actually settles down with. So I am the result of that moment. Wookiee, Jellicle Snacks, the Wookiee for my final voyage. You're going to see her adventures, and my whole goal on that fourth voyage was, can I make these actors laugh just by saying my name and telling them my story? That was my whole.
That's cool. Yeah.
Brings Yub Nub. It gives Yub Nub a whole new meaning. Yub Nub.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm a Star Wars. My Star Wars has the Yub Nub song in it before they removed it from the end. That's how I wanted it to end. Not with the other stuff. Just give me Yub Nub.
Can we go back to your Wraith real quick? Which Wraith did you have? Did you have Justin, Jason?
Oh gosh.
Smolder? Did you have Smolder?
Wait.
Steven.
Which one was he? Oh, which one? No. The ball. Oh no, I'm getting my Croy and because the Croy that we had, I knew him from videos as a Wraith, and the Wraith he was bald. Yeah, just he's in. I don't even have any hair at all.
Okay.
It's completely hairless.
He's like
Top
me.
to bottom.
I think that's why we talk so much. But sort of older. I mean, not old, but like he wasn't like, I think there was a younger one. He wasn't the younger guy. He may have had.
Okay.
I'm trying. I don't think he had. I probably got pictures with him that I could find.
Okay.
I think
Taller. He wasn't. Our Croy was the guy with the goatee and bald.
Oh, that was our Croy. That was our Croy. Or is that our? It doesn't matter. I just was curious. It was any of ours.
He was really funny. Yeah, he was hilarious. But yeah, I think what is going to differentiate you guys from just besides the quality of the filming, but from the YouTube videos that everybody records in this documentary, you guys are going to have the heart, because you're going to have these interviews and these stories woven in to your time aboard. And I just think that's one of the coolest things about this, is that you're not only getting, from what I've read and heard, you're not only getting stories from people that boarded as passengers, but you're getting stories from the actors, from the cast, and how has there been a problem getting cast members and stuff to do that with Disney, or are they sort of like, no, it's okay, just go ahead and do it? If you don't want to talk about that, we don't have to.
No.
I was curious that if that gave you a problem with having, I guess, employees or former employees.
keep looking at me.
No, I'm just kidding. I am very grateful that we have had interviews with a couple actors. One of them is Adam Riley, the first Croy, who is hilarious and beloved. Then we've interviewed another actor. We have a third actor that's going to be I'm going to interview on Saturday. And then we have Jay, the crucial crew member we interviewed. And I think we'll be able to get LaBeth and a few other people down the line who will come on board once we get this trailer out there. But yeah, there's been an issue. Like, we'd really like to have more women represented from the cast. It's difficult. And I keep saying, listen, if you hear this, please just get in touch and we'll take whatever you're comfortable and can share. I know some people are still working for Disney.
We're going to blue sky it right here for a moment.
Yeah.
What do you think, if anything, they are going to do with this building that sits there just abandoned, basically? Do you think there is a plan, or do you think it's like the Wonders of Life that will sit there forever at Epcot? Or if you have an idea what they should do with it, what do you think they should do with it?
I think they're going to do a general call out to all of the Starcruisers and be like, come on in. And then they're just going to lock us in and be like, shut up. Here it is. You could live here. Just live. I don't know. Like, I could see like offering activities like for a cost, because there's the lightsaber room set up for that, engineering room set to play in, the bridge is set up. I don't have a lot of hope that it's going to come back in any way. And even if it did, let's be honest, Ryan, like it wouldn't be the same.
It won't be the same. No.
So I don't know. Do you have more of a notion?
Well, my thing, we did do an episode on we have another podcast called Living with the Landspeeder, where we take a Disney ride and Star Warsified, and we actually re-Star Warsified Starcruiser when they closed it. So that was a fun episode for listeners if you want to check it out. I'm a huge Disney fan, and I read all the news, and I look at all the sort of the business stuff behind it. My fear is when they announced it, the fear immediately set in that nothing's going to be done with it. Is my fear, because there's so many buildings at Disney World that have just basically sat empty since the 90s. I mean, that long, early 2000s. They're still sitting there empty. Huge buildings that they just abandoned. So I would love for them to do something. I don't know with what the tax write-off stuff, what all the paperwork says that they can do and they cannot do. I hope they do something with it. I hope it's not just a storage building. And right now, we don't even know what's left in there. Is everything still there? I know that one of the elevators was dismantled. That's all I know for sure. Well, I don't know if I'm supposed to say that. It's fine. Disney doesn't listen to this. I know for sure that one of the elevators was dismantled. It's still there, probably, but all the theming was
That's a
taken
very
out.
interesting detail, Ryan.
I'm weird.
He knows a lot about elevators.
I know. Yeah.
He's kind of obsessed with
Well,
elevators.
it
You
was
forgot
just-
to mention that part.
It's a thing.
just-
I don't know.
But I'll give you my thoughts on why it closed. If you want those.
Okay, yeah, sure.
I think that this, and I've heard from different people through the grapevine and stuff, that the Starcruiser was never taken out of R&D, research and development. It was always in research and development. And the plan was this was a trial. And that as long as it made the money that they set up the price, and this is how much money at the beginning, then they would keep it open. As soon as it didn't make the certain amount, it's R&D. We write it off as taxes. It was a good trial, and we move on. There was never a plan to lower the price. It was not going to happen. And because if that was the plan, I don't think they would have closed it in 18 months or whatever. They'd be like, let's figure it out. But because it was R&D, research and development, it played into a factor where it was easier for them to write stuff off and basically take the cut there. That's just my business side of it. I don't think it was ever meant to survive in the current climate that we're in. And you're like, that's crazy, right? Like, why would they spend that much money? But they've done it before.
It's just that wouldn't surprise me at all.
I don't know. We've been watching lately this like all these behind the attractions shows on that Disney Plus has, and they're really interesting. And there's a lot of and like the Imagineering series as well. A lot of more behind the scenes than I almost would have thought. And even stuff like they show you them building like Euro Disney and like the Disney stuff in Hong Kong or whatever. And, there's things that go, like you can see the bumps in the road, but it doesn't seem like Disney does anything that's not, intended to succeed. I don't know. Like
I agree with that to a certain point. I think when some leadership changed, that changed. Disney bankrupt Disney, like Walt Disney bankrupt the Disney company several times to make stuff happen that he dreamed about. Now that wouldn't happen. They're not going to bankrupt Disney or any part of Disney to make stuff happen. That's where the tax write-offs come in. They this much, and you can see their latest Imagineer thing that came out with the guy that they just gave an award to, who invented the lightsaber that's on board. He's the guy that invented the lightsaber, and then he just invented this, or his new patent is the hollow tiles. Have you seen this? It's like a floor that you can. They're calling it hollow tile. It's a floor that you can walk on as much as you want, and you never move. Like it would be good work. It would be good for like video games and stuff. It would be good. It'd been great for the Starcruiser because they can put stuff on it and make it look like you're moving it with the Force. It's really cool technology. This is the guy that made the lightsaber, and I think they asked about the lightsaber, and he said, "Well, it may come back, it may not. This is what I do. I make patents for Disney." So they got a lot of patents out of it. They got a lot of tech that they didn't have before that they can make money other places. So I don't know. I hope something comes back, even if it's just like a day trip thing. I don't know what they would do with all the rooms in there.
It's an expensive experiment, right? Go ahead, Jonathan. You're going to say something.
Yeah, well, I mean, who knows? None of us know.
Yeah, nobody knows.
We'll see at some point what happens. But I mean,
yeah,
I could definitely see it being like a sort of more economically viable scaled down in certain senses. Like maybe it still operates as like a hotel, even though it's not very big for a hotel. But it's like a little boutique hotel for people that want to be just in Star Wars and they're just going to go to Galaxy's Edge, but they're staying there.
Yeah.
Maybe it's like you do a day pass if you want to do some of the like little immersive thing that's less intense. You know, it's not as crazy big elaborate, but it's still kind of immersive. Like some little interactions happen and you solve some puzzles and have fun in the engineering room or do something. I mean, I could see some version where it's like a combination that's cheaper and scaled down.
Yeah.
But, you know, it won't be what it was.
No, and it's cool that if you go back and look at the artwork for Galaxy's Edge before, you know, the Starcruiser was announced, a lot of the concept art made its way onto the Starcruiser. It was supposed to be at Galaxy's Edge, and then it made its way on the Starcruiser. So that's cool that it actually finally got to be made. But wouldn't it be cool if Gaia ended up in Galaxy's Edge for a dinner show? Wouldn't that be so cool? Because there's buildings there at Galaxy's Edge that are empty, that are used for storage right now, that could be made into something like that. Who knows? I think with Iger, we're getting all this business stuff. I'm sorry. I think with Iger announcing that they're going to pour billions into the next few years to expand the parks, maybe there's a little Star Wars in there. We'll see.
You can't lose with it. You can't lose.
Yeah, you would hope. I mean,
well, unless the Starcruiser, I guess. I don't know.
They do seem to be all in on Star Wars, just generally, as a you know. So.
Frank, you know, or Chris or Katrin. Is it Katrin? Am I saying that right? Katrin?
Yeah, his first name's Chris. It's Chris Katrin, but since we have my brother's Chris, he just goes by his last name to make it easier for everybody.
Okay, great. So do you all know, would they keep something in R&D like for a long time? Like, because I know they like relocated people to be in these roles and do this work. So I would have to think they would keep it in R&D with without like a indefinite, like we're just going to keep it going for you who we've relocated to be here. I mean, they keep something in R&D for that long? Because I know they were still upgrading things like up until the last minute. It was maybe technically still in R&D, which I think is cool for that kind of thing. But I think if I had moved to have a career, I would be like, if this is R&D, this better be long haul R&D, like it just blocks. You know?
Yeah, I mean, I would say they could keep stuff in R&D for quite some time. I mean, and depending on like who you're talking about for like the jobs necessarily, like I mean, for like Imagineering and stuff like that, they aren't just at Disney constantly. There's a lot of contract people that'll come in like, oh, it's a job, I'll go do it. It's R&D. I mean, but hey, it's a job. It'll be fun. I can go do that for a while, and then I'll leave and I'll go do something else. For the people doing the concept and stuff like that, they would probably know that and know that there's a time limit that they would be doing it on. Now, for like the actors and stuff like that, that may not even be something that's necessarily disclosed to them.
That
it's R&D. It's just like, this is a job. It's an acting job. You're on a contract for this many months, and if things go well, you can extend it. Like they may not say it's R&D.
Right. I heard that it was like a year contract for most of this.
A lot of stuff like that. There'll be like a contract with like with animation, like a lot of places like with Disney and stuff, it's all like job specific, contract specific. They're like, come in for like 3 months to work on this movie, and then like there may be another movie after that we want to keep you around for, but maybe not. So keep your options open if you need to go somewhere else. I mean, a lot of jobs like that, you hop around from studio to studio. So the animators for Disney also work at Sony, and then they'll also work at DreamWorks, and they just jump around from studio to studio a lot of times. So I can see that being a thing where they could keep it really in R&D as long as legally they could.
Yeah. But we don't know. It's just guessing. Sometimes it's fun to, guess. Try to
Well,
figure
what
stuff out.
I think is interesting about like beyond the future of the Starcruiser proper itself is like how the community is going to move forward because it's
Yeah.
so strong, and that's part of what the doc will eventually land on. Is talking about, you know, where it goes next, like what happens now to all these people who've come together and they have such strong feelings about this experience. So that's one of the things that we'll talk about and discuss and get into is like that community moving forward, doing things like the May the 4th events and the Wish Cruise and Halcyon and
Yeah.
so on and so forth.
And maybe Disney will see this and be like, wow, there's a group there. I mean, it's solid. It's keeping going. We got to bring something back. The Starcruiser has to come back now.
Yeah.
Maybe. We'll see. I don't know. I would love for it to come back in some form or another. Even if it's a watered down form, I would still like to see it. You know, it bring back memories.
With the Wish thing that you're doing, if you do enough of that stuff like that, I mean, they'll have like Star Wars Days at Sea and stuff like that. Maybe they would do something where they like brought on some of the characters for like a cruise ship, just like a special like 3-day cruise, and they pretend it's the. I'm wearing a Wish hat, even like I'm a Disney cruise person. Yeah, I've been on the Wish before. Yeah,
the inaugural
year.
Yeah,
we geeked out on the Wish because I just watched the documentary about it. I'm so excited. I'm leaving in 2 weeks. Tell me about a little bit. Or I'm sorry, I'm getting off track, Ryan. But
no, it's fine. It's fine.
No,
this is what we do.
Yeah,
it's fun. Like I've been on the Magic and the Wonder and the Wish. I personally prefer the smaller ships, the Magic or the Wonder. And I personally prefer the adult area on those two as well.
Yeah,
because it is smaller on the Wish. But the Wish is really cool. It's huge. I've actually been on the Wish twice, but the first time,
it's where all his money goes.
The first day I got on the ship, I was like, I'm really tired. Like we just boarded. Like I want to go. I think I'm going to take a nap. I'm going to take a nap, and I took a nap, and I woke up. I was like, I'm not feeling good, and I took a COVID test, and I had COVID, and so the rest of the cruise, I was in my room. But I mean, even though I had COVID, it was one of the best vacations I've been on because they provided everything. Like they brought all our meals to our room. Like they comped us like so much stuff. Like they gave us money back for the cruise, and then they put us up at a hotel like afterward. It was amazing.
Special car,
especially they people having to get off the ship, like you have to line up or whatever. They just like we had our own bus.
like on the E2 when they had to go through the tunnel and the thing.
Yeah, we didn't have to wait to get off. We just brought our luggage just on the COVID bus. But the Wish is really good. Definitely like just like eat eat everything. There's so much good food. If you've been on a cruise before, like if you're at dinner and you can't decide between the desserts, they'll bring both to you. and just like the room service is also free. So like, I mean, just get food, just eat all the food.
Now I want to go.
And the
one of your
sweet shop,
though, right? The trivia is one of your favorite events.
Oh yeah, they have like the bars and stuff in places, and they'll have them for adults, but also like kid versions, and adults can go to those too. But they'll have all these trivia sessions that you can go to, where it's not just Disney trivia. Some of it's like TV show trivia or like 70s music trivia, stuff like that. Those are always fun to go to. And of course, they got the movie theaters. I love to go to the movies, and those are free. You can just go see a movie. I'll tend to go to a later one. There's not that many people at them. But
tonight's episode is sponsored by The Wish.
I'm
not really.
I'm sorry about COVID, but what I think the message I'm receiving is that I need to get COVID because that's how
you just need to get COVID, and it'll be a free trip.
Just be like, I think I have COVID.
Thanks. I'd like to be VIP'd all the way through. Thank you very much.
It's nice. We
Now they
typically
probably
get a
don't do that
balcony.
though. They'll probably just be like, "You're fine."
We typically get a balcony on a cruise when we go, and that's really nice. Like because you have your own. Yeah, it's really nice to have your own space. My wife just likes to go out there and just sit there during the day and just really not just bring a book and just read. It's really relaxing. But and I don't know your excursions or anything. We don't really do a lot of excursions, but Castaway Key, if you're going there, really nice place. Get you a conch cooler. I think it's a drink to get there.
We need to wrap up here in a minute, but since we're talking about the Witch event, I'm curious. Are people dressing up? Are people coming in character?
Nice.
Wow.
All space pirates. We're gonna all be like Star Wars, Starcruiser, space pirates.
That's cool.
Very cool.
200.
I would go for that. I'm up for that.
Yeah.
I bet the Star Wars bar is going to be like packed.
Well, yeah, it's not very big.
Yeah, it's not very big. It'll be super packed. The door is awesome. I love the door. That's my favorite.
Yeah.
If you love that door, you should have saw the doors on the Starcruiser.
I mean, it's the type of door you go in a grocery store, and I mean that's basically what it is.
It's not glass doors, right?
But it's just like it's so made up to like look like a Star Wars door or whatever.
Every time Chris goes to the grocery store, he's like, "Wow, this is like being in Star Wars."
I know. It's amazing.
Oh, that is great. We're getting onto the Starcruiser going into Kroger right now. Oh my God, I love it. And like the fish extenders and gift exchange on that trip is going to be it is mad. It is mad. So I'm excited.
That's awesome.
Yeah. I'll decorate your door.
Fun.
Real quick, just ask. I know we're trying to wrap up, but
no, you're fine.
Geek out. Is anybody else geek out on this guy right here?
Okay, here. Story time. I had the opportunity to do the Disney College program many moons ago, many years ago. And when I was there, I wasn't there for that long because my school said, when they found out what I was doing for this college program, they said, we're not giving you credit for that. So I was like, oh man, well, I need credit. So I had to move. They have a thing called traditions. It's like the welcome to the Disney College program. We're going to tell you all about Disney. They went around the room and they said, we want everybody to tell their favorite Disney character. And people are like, Mickey Mouse, Minnie Mouse, Goofy, blah, blah, blah. They get to me and I go, oh, that's easy. Figment. And most people are like, who? Like what? And the guy that was in charge was like, this guy knows his stuff if his favorite character is Figment. Figment is my favorite Disney character. He's sitting right over here. I would go get him, but I don't want to undo everything. But I have one of the old Figments from when I was a kid. He's about this big. He still has the tag on him and everything. I love Figment. He holds a special place in my heart, and I wish I could have got the newest popcorn bucket, but I'm nowhere near Disney to get it right now. It looks so cool. Now I'm an old school Figment fan. Yeah.
Thank you.
Dreamfinder Figment. That's
baby.
That's the jam. I still don't know why they won't bring back the old Figment, Dreamfinder, and everything.
So gorgeous. John, I have something I got to show you real quick, and then we'll wrap, I swear. But
okay.
We talked about my recent trip to Epcot and how Figment was trying to steal me from you. Okay, I'll be right back.
I don't know. She did come back with videos of meeting Figment, and she and her girlfriend, she were there. They were both there with. It was like they had like a 15-minute dance hug session with Figment. They were at it on its own video. I'm like, wow, okay.
Okay, I want you to see what this is.
Oh wow!
Oh, there he is.
That's amazing.
That is the real deal, baby. That is a child's extra large, and it does fit me. And I wear it, baby.
That's great.
Yeah, I got the other week. I found. Remember Golden Books?
Yeah,
sure.
I found a Figment Golden Book at Target.
Oh,
And I got it.
She's
and
right now.
I got it and I read it to my kids and they loved it. And my daughter loves Figment too. Like it's so funny. When we go, we always got to go on Figment, even though I'm like, I tell my kids, cause my kids are 6 and 9. I'm like, this Figment's fun, but this is not, this is not the best Figment. But like we were writing Figment or Journey into Imagination. And there's the skunk part.
yes.
The
So
burnt
we'd been on it before, and my daughter was like, "Hey, I don't want the skunk part." And one of the people working, one of the cast members said, "Oh, we can just turn it off for you." And she's like, "Yes,
No.
yeah, that would make the ride perfect. We turn it off." So we round the corner, we get to that part, and the Figment skunk blasts her in the face with the smell, and she's like, "They lied to us. They didn't turn it off."
That's great.
Thing.
That's great.
I knew at least one of you would be Figment fans. I mean,
I love Figment. Yeah.
But I did when I met Figment, because they were doing meet and greet when I was getting off right on. I saw that he was there, and I'm like, if we get off and he's there, and I would never stand in line for a meet and greet. That's just not my jam.
Yeah.
But I did for Figment, and I did cry.
Oh,
I cried over Figment. Okay.
That's great.
yeah. Check your local Targets. They may have the Figment Golden Book.
Yeah.
Oh my God,
Like
that
it's
is
$3. I
so
mean, can't beat
That
that.
amazing. Trying to find a picture of me with Figment in the park, but anyway, I know we're trying to wrap it. I just had to know about Figment because we were going to geek out on stuff. So
Yeah.
We're
What's it?
on Figment.
Yeah, we love Figment around my house. Yep.
Yeah.
So I'll probably go on it when I go back in May, even though it's not, it's former glory, but maybe one day they'll bring it back.
It's got to be somewhere.
Yeah.
We're a Stitch household here.
Oh well.
We've got so much Stitch. Yeah, it's just so much Stitch. We even got it was given to, I forget, there was only like 7 of them made or something like that, but we have a surfboard hanging above our bed that's a Stitch surfboard that we bought at an auction.
That's amazing.
Yeah, so like so much Stitch stuff. I got a Tiki Stitch over here, and like
You have a lot of
think
Stitch
there's
stuff.
a Stitch on every. We do. We got so much Stitch. For Valentine's Day yesterday, I got a little Stitch statue from my wife.
Well, there you go.
Was it the Jim Shore little Stitch?
Oh yeah, for Christmas, like he bought me the Halcyon Lego Atrium set.
Nice.
Oh, I saw that. That's so cool. I didn't know you could buy it. I thought they just put instructions out for it.
Right. Well, yes, not a set that Lego makes or anything.
No. Yeah.
We could,
set.
like, there's the Bricklink and there's a couple versions of it, but the websites that make it really easy to, once somebody makes an instructions, they'll match it up and they'll show you sellers have all the pieces you need. And and it's a really amazing job of like kind of putting together your order for you. Like this will make what you want to make. And
that's so cool.
Yeah.
We're big into Lego around here too. I keep thinking so last thing, and then I promise, because you guys got to get to bed. What's your favorite keepsake from the Halcyon?
Oh, I'm so glad you asked that. So, all right, here you go. All right, I got it. So, right up here, this is one of my favorites. I can't say it's my favorite, but these, do you know what these are by any chance, Ryan? So these are...
Oh, that's
really stiff contacts.
It's some kind of money, like
these are credits to bet with for the Sabacc tournament.
Yeah.
So I'm on my 3rd trip. I'm down playing in the Sabacc tournament, and Wraith Cole like slips me these because he sees I'm down to 1, and he's like, "How are you doing? Like, what's going on?" He's like, "Messing around. It's Justin Beard," and I'm like, "Well, I'm down to 1 as 1, not." And he's like, okay, good. All right. Well, sorry to hear that. So before I know it, he comes back, slips this to me and it gives me like a whole bunch of like these to shoot with.
That's cool. I will say that I am the champion of the Sublime Terminator for the May 3rd voyage.
Oh my god! That's
I have my medallion sitting right over there, so that's very special.
You got a medallion?
Yeah. So that was probably my highlight of the trip because I wasn't going to do the Sublime Terminator. I was down. It was me and Drew from yeah, I think from Heroes of the Halcyon.
Yeah.
We were like sneaking around by the room with the luggage in it.
Cargo hold?
Yeah, the cargo hold. Yeah, and we were sneaking around there. And we're standing outside of it, waiting to go in because somebody was doing pictures in there. And a lady came out and said, "Hey, would you like to be part of the Sabak tournament?" And we're like, well, "I guess." So we went in, and then I just kept winning I just kept winning, and then won the whole thing in the Sublight Lounge on that night. So that was so cool.
Really fun.
Yeah.
I could even win with this. I was like, I couldn't even cheat win that thing. He's like, no, you can keep them. Those are cursed. Like, I don't want those back. This is one of my favorite things. Cost me nothing.
Cool.
Cost me absolutely nothing. But there's so many beautiful things people made. Like somebody made a medallion of the Hyananea stone that his character gave me, trying to woo me on our trip together. And it's just some of the beautiful things that people made. I mean, I can't even get into it. Like, it's just like
you recognize that?
Oh yes,
that's a kyber crystal that I make.
That you make that whole set?
Yeah.
Dude,
Yeah. I make all the drinks.
I love those. Those are so great.
Yeah, they work and the lightsabers are cool. So I took all these on the ship with me. So when I was at the finals of the tournament, I had all my drinks all laid out in front of me. And they're like, "What are these?" I'm like, "Oh, it's my good luck charms for the playing Savak." And so it was fun. And I would give these out to the bartenders and stuff.
They're beautiful.
They loved them. Yeah, I've got this one, the icebreaker, and then I've got like a whole set of the Oga's Cantina, like just about all the drinks from there.
Okay, I'm going to show you what I made because I'm low tech. Hold on.
It's gonna be like to divide this into 2 episodes or something. Okay,
we're still within range here.
We're still in range. Right?
I need a good maker. I did this with Shrinky Dink, but do you see what?
Cool.
Oh yeah, very cool.
Nice.
Is that? Do you know what it is? It's the fluke, baby.
Oh yeah. I've thought about making a kyber crystal that looks like that. I've thought about it. I may do it.
I need to do it now.
I think you know what I need to do. I mean, if you guys are okay with it, I'll figure it out. Maybe I'll make a kyber crystal for the Halcyon Daze.
What?
Yeah, maybe I'll think of something.
What?
Yeah. If you got ideas, let me know, and maybe we'll make one like a special edition just for you guys.
You get in the DVD case, or do they make DVDs still? Like, and it can be in the
Cool.
blister pack or something.
Yeah, I'll think of it. I'll think of some stuff. You
Special
think of some stuff, maybe favorite colors or something, and maybe I'll come up with
Maybe if
something.
people like buy a certain number of the DVDs, like box tops, and then you can like send away for a special
Kyber crystal.
Send them to your address.
Buy 5 DVDs. Like,
Now that could be like we could talk about it. That could be a good fundraiser for you guys. Maybe we could do something.
Tom Oakrey of Jedi Talk is looking into fundraising with us on the weekend of May the 4th. So we may have something like that. And if we do, that would be amazing. Or just your own thing would be so helpful. As you know, I just really want to pay our team. Like, I just want to pay. It would be nice to give them some money for the amazing work that they're doing. You know what I mean?
Cool. Yeah, we'll figure something out.
Okay.
I've done stuff like that before. I've made kyber crystals for Make-A-Wish stuff. I've done stuff like that could be auctioned off. So we can figure something out.
Oh, thank you. I love that drink set. Is so great. My address is 10. I mean, if the set happens to show, I will promote you as the official Kyber drink set sponsor of Halcyon.
I'll see what I can do. I'll send you some messages. We'll get it worked out.
I won't see you on the Wish Cruise, man. That's a drag, but I'm glad for May the 4th for that.
I'll be there May the 4th. I mean, if there's a listener out there that just wants to like send me a Wish Cruise ticket or whatever they do, just Just go ahead, send it to me, and I'll go and report on it.
COVID, they'll let you on because they feel sorry for you because like that worked out the opposite way. So I don't know.
I have COVID. Can you let me on the
Yeah,
show?
please.
Wait a second.
That'll work. That
Yeah,
sounds
keep
right.
you out of here.
Well, thank you for coming on. It's been wonderful. You're welcome back anytime. You should come if you want to. Our other podcast, Living with the Landspeeder. If you want a Star Wars Fire ride, let us know, and we'll get you on. Just think of it. Think of your favorite. Ooh, maybe Figment.
Well, that's actually
That's somebody
our
got
next
that?
show. Somebody just took that one. Yeah.
Oh,
I need to definitely like listen to that then. I'll think about it.
oh gosh, who took that one?
Carrie. It's Carrie's taking
Oh
it.
yes, he did. Okay, yeah. Well, now I got to figure that out. Okay. Well, thank you for coming on. If you need anything from us, first off, where can people find you?
Lots of places. So there is a official website for the project, HalcyonDazeFilm.com. There's links to we have a nonprofit organization that is a sponsor, which means you can link there to a place if you're the kind of person who wants to donate to a film project and write it off on your taxes. That can happen. But so we've got an Instagram, we've got a Facebook. So follow us on any YouTube channel. So there's going to be more stuff coming out, especially on the YouTube channel as it unfolds. So people should follow that stuff if you're interested in the project, because it's all in flux. We don't know exactly how it's being funded for sure, but it'll be funded some way. Maybe there will be a crowdfunding campaign coming down the line
with some cool incentives.
There's definitely some things that were already in place for that, but there's going to be a teaser trailer coming out soon. That is going to be the first time people will see the professional footage of a shot of the voyage. We've already released a bunch of clips of interviews with passengers and stuff, but that will be the first time that the pro footage of the voyage is part of it. So cool. All those places.
Very cool.
Awesome.
Thank you for coming on again. And for our listeners and watchers, you can find my kyber crystals at iamGEEK Shop on Etsy. I always plug that. That's our sponsor, right? I'm our sponsor. But yeah, we'll be again next week. We'll be at Living with Landspeeder, and then the following week we'll be back with iamGEEK. We'll have something new, something fun, and of course something geeky. We'll catch you on the next iamGEEK.
Bye-bye.
Thanks.